Everyone, and welcome to Talk with the Titans, live from London, UK, all the way to the US of A and worldwide. I'm your host, Kalam, and this is Talk with the Titans. You know what, tonight's show, we're actually going to be discussing the gnosis. All right, so it's going to be a jam-packed filled show for you. I'm with my brother, Gabz. Gabz, say peace to the family king.
Peace, peace, family. What is good? What is happening?
Trust me. So you know what, yeah. Unfortunately, this is not going to be a long show. I'm hopefully, want to cut it down to about 45 minutes. Try to make it as quick as possible because today we're kind of behind time, so to speak. So I want to do a very, very quick show. Hopefully tomorrow, inshallah, or God willing, we'll be able to do something a bit longer. We can go into more depth and detail and a bit more structure. But today, the family has been begging, saying like, "Yo, Cal, come on, let's do a show today. Like, we gotta get this popping." So I'm like, "All right, family, cool. Let's do something real quickly, and hopefully we'll do something a bit more in depth later on." What are you saying, Gabs? Is that cool with you?
Yeah, buddy. I'm down for that still. Yeah, I'm here.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So you know what, yeah, right about now we've been dropping some great gems for you, family. We've been dropping a lot of gems. We've been going into like Islam. We've been going into racism. We've been doing all of that great stuff. But unfortunately, what we've been doing, which is slacking in a little sense, is giving you some more Kemetic information. And I know you lot are hollering at me in my Facebook, in my inbox, coming down to Speaker's Corner as well. And you guys want a little bit more information. And do that today. We're going to give you knowledge. We're going to give you the basis of, for those of you guys who've been aware of the Kemetic Creed, we gave you 7 particular points, component parts that build up the content of the character of the Kemetic Creed, that ties knots and binds everybody together. I'm playing on the words Akida, or what we say in Kemet is Keda, or Keda as well. So these are the terms that we utilize to deal with content and building, and also to bind ourselves together as well. So this is a very powerful concept inside of the ancient Egyptian Kemetic philosophy. Another word for that as well is Aun, which literally means character, your nature, your disposition. So we're going to go into a little bit more of the Kemetic disposition. So right about now, there is the 7 things or 7 elements within inside of the creed, or the 7 things that the Kemetics know. The number 1 is gnosis, which is knowledge. Number 2 is theology, that God is one, and the creator and the sustainer of all things. Number 3 is to do with cosmogony, and how all the hierarchy of the different beings and suns and planets and all sorts actually have an interrelationship with humanity on Earth. And then obviously we're going on to ancestry, which I like to call it in its real scientific term. It's the anthropology of human beings, where human beings derive from, and how we show veneration to our ancestors, and we revere the people on the Black Land, as well as the Black Land itself as being the birth of African people and humanity in general. So that's number 4. Number 5 is to do with pedagogy. Pedagogy is the educational system that we go through. Number 6, without even going into too much depth, number 6 is talking about ethics, and that's to do with the codified form of Ma'at, which we find in the 42 laws, or the 42 negative confessions, or the 42 admonitions. That's the codified version, but we have the ethics behind it, the moral standings of how we get there. And then number 7 is the eschatology. The eschatology is dealing with the hereafter. So what happens to you once you die? So what is the end goal? What is the purpose of actually being a so-called Kemetic, or person that follows or tries to create, sustain, and maintain Ma'at? What is the end goal of that? What do you want to receive or achieve at the end of your life? And of course, it's to do with eternal life. It's to do with immortality and becoming one with the deity, and being an effective being both in this life and in the hereafter. So these are the key concepts to do with the Kemetic Creed and its philosophy, which is the order of Ma'at, full stop. So that is what we're should be breaking down in the upcoming days to weeks, to months. We're going to go into more detail for you as well. And then obviously for those individuals that want to come in and learn some more information, they have to pass through the pylons. Right about now, we're giving you the outer temple teachings. Okay, these are the exoteric teachings. Okay, so what that means, exoteric, it means the outside. Exo literally means to be outside, and teric means teachings. So we're giving you the teachings that you would literally be able to find about ancient Egypt if you do, or Kemet, if you did a very thorough search via the internet, via actually being outside of the walls in Kemet. So if you went to a temple and you visited a wooden temple, you will see Ma'at and the pharaoh cutting down Isfet and so forth. So you will learn about Ra and all these different terminologies just by being on the outside of the Kemetic school. You actually just want to look at the temple and learn and be surrounded by that information and see the greatness of Kemet. So that's the one stage. That's being outside. That's the exoteric level. Then you become an initiate where you actually pass through the pylons itself. All right. And then you get further information, and then you go in a little bit deeper into the temple school and you learn more and more and more information. All right. So right now we're starting you off from the outside, learning a bit more about Kemet, learning an understanding or an overview of Kemet. And then finally, when you guys want to take the further step, you can be initiated and actually get a much more in-depth, further understanding. You go through the Kemetic process of learning itself. So number one, right now, we're touching on something that is usually, reserved for those people who are really inside of the school. But we're going to touch on it a little bit more, and we're going to see what it's about. Just tantalize you. Give your taste buds a little taster. That's what I want to do right now. So, my brother, gnosis is what we're going into. Family members, I know that you're here with me. I can't actually see anybody in the chat section. Let me know if the chat section is popping, but my chat section is not popping. Oh, I just refreshed. All right, cool. Let me just give my shouts out. Bigger Valley in the building. Oh yeah, shouts out to Content over everything. I've done an interview with them today. It was it was off the hook. Trust me, it was off the hook. But you know what? Whose interview, which was really good as well. I sat down and watched it. Was my brother Raspect. Damn, my brother's going in. So unfortunately, I can't connect to the chat for some reason. So bear with me, family, but I can see what's going on. Harry Singh, Lady Divine is in here. Jonah Hire is in here. Bigger Valley, as I said, is in here. So peace to the family. AR23 up in Brooklyn is in the building. So peace to my family. Let me know, guys, if your chat section is operating just well, or if it's just mine that's playing up. Let me know in the comment section. Definitely would like to know. Get your feedback from you, family. Also, we got about 60 people tuned in right now. Please hit the share button. Hit the share button, because I know we're doing the show later than usual for my UK audience, my US audience. You know how it is. But please hit the share button. Hit the share button, and strike me up with some likes, man. Strike me up with some likes so I can really go in, and we can really go in and touch on some really profound information today. All right. So my brother, I'm gonna pass it over to you right now, real quickly. Let us know, man. We're talking gnosis. Like, what is gnosis? Furthermore.
Yo, can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So gnosis is basically it's knowledge. So gnosis, you have know thyself, you have know the universe, and know the gods. The three main things that you get in the gnosis. So that's knowing thyself, knowing the universe, and then after that to know the gods or the god. Yeah.
All right, powerful. I like that. I want to get into this. I want to go. Everybody saying it's operating good. I'm on my phone now to actually just check up with what it's saying. Yeah. All right, family members, I'm seeing. So yeah, let me know. Let me know in the chat section. I'm here with you guys. I'm gonna continue to be here with you guys. So so let's get into this. Let's actually get into this on a very deeper, more profound level, indeed. So let me just see if I could pull up anything. So really and truly, let me just give you the purpose and intent of actually doing something like this. Again, the purpose and intent was that you guys have been asking for it, you've been calling for it, you want to know more about Kemet. It's high time. Unfortunately, over here in the UK, it seems as though we don't have many Kemetic voices being as vocal as possible. We have loads of different communities over here in the UK, but I know my younger audience, the much more hip audience, the much more audience that are tuned with technology and social media, unfortunately, we're not getting an influx of information to deal with Kemet, and we're unable to actually express, maybe some of us are unable to express, articulate our own thoughts or the Kemetic information. So hopefully today, okay, based upon our Kemetic creed, that unites and binds and bounds most individuals that claim to be Kemet, or Kemetic, hopefully, and those people, you know, who claim to be, all should agree to this, whether you are part of the Kemetic communities in America or over here in the UK or in Africa. Hopefully every single one of us should be able to agree with these statements that's been proposed so far. I fully well know that I have, and we over here at KMTS, over here in the UK, especially my brother Sarah, Gabz, and I have coined this particular way of viewing it. Okay, but it is a universal principle regardless for those people who don't actually have a creed or constitution as such like that. But, you know, because generally we have it in a very relaxed setting where it's not organized religion. But for those people who aren't aware of it, they need something much more organized, much more structured to actually fully grasp what Kemet is. So, you know, hopefully today we're going to give you some more information, divulge some more information on this. So that's the purpose of it today, is to lift you up from a position of ignorance, a position of not knowing, a position of completely being empty and in the loop, you know, if that's even a phrase or statement or word. All right, so gnosis, again, my brother already broke down the gnosis. You know, when we look at it from the actual Greek, it tends to mean spiritual knowledge. Okay, it tends to mean spiritual knowledge. The word gnosis itself literally means knowledge, but generally speaking, we have the Gnostics, for example, over in Egypt, which is really and truly Egypt. They were there doing their things within inside of Christianity. So they were taking on the ancient Egyptian practices themselves, the metaphysical, the mystical, the spiritual practices, and subsuming themselves underneath the guise of Christianity. And they were still elucidating very ancient teachings, such as what we're going to be espousing today. So gnosis is literally to do with knowledge, but more precisely spiritual knowledge, inclining towards God. And we're definitely going to break it down. We're going to definitely break it down from the Egyptian perspective. We're going to definitely break it down in terms of the different linguistics, the etymology, and how we come to knowledge itself. So epistemology, how do we get to knowledge? So we're going to break all of this down today, family members. So please bear with us. We're going to do a quick run through. We're also going to you know, give you the importance of why it is to have knowledge, okay? Because we have our ancient teachings that teaches us why it's important to learn, to know, to be in the loop, and why it's, you know, what is the significance and importance of it. My brother, did you want to jump on to anything real quickly before I continue?
No, bro, I'm just waiting for you to get into it, because there's some things I want to chime in as well when we're dealing with the know thyself, the knowledge, the gnosis. So yeah, man, do your thing. I'm ready.
All right. So cool. You know, in ancient Egypt itself, like we have the word for knowledge as well. We have various words for knowledge. We have the word rech. Rech literally means to know something. Okay. We have the term rech, which means to know. Okay. That's to do with knowledge, to know. And it also means a person who is a sage, a knower of information. All right. And with that itself, the goal of being somebody who has knowledge and who knows is to transform themselves, okay? Is to actually transform themselves into being an akhu. An akhu, okay, in the ancient Egyptian language, or the akh in ancient Egyptian language, was a person who was an ancestor, so to speak. They call it an ancestor, but it literally means to be an effective one, to actually be effective. All knowledge, yeah, should be effective. We dealt with practical knowledge. I love this. I love the ISUPK over in America and over here in the UK. They're the school. They're the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge. So all the knowledge that we hope to ascertain, to attain, to cultivate ourselves should be knowledge that should be perfecting ourselves, and it should be knowledge that is effective right here, right now, that is benefiting our lives and other people's lives as well. That is the purpose of knowledge. Knowledge is there to make you be effective. All right. That is the real purpose of knowledge and learning. Okay. And in that being said, you have akh or akhu. Okay. And another terminology for akhu is actually the uraeus. For those of you guys who know a little bit of ancient Egyptian information, I don't know, do you not know what an uraeus is? Do you not know what uraeus is? Let me know if you actually know what uraeus is. I'll actually pull it up, okay? Because I know I'm doing some I'm literally just coming back in. I'm just going to just give you some information that you lot can look up and you can learn some more information on this. All right. So basically, one of the signs to show that one is a learned individual, especially dealing with the pharaohs themselves, they will actually wear something called a uraeus. Okay. I don't know if you see it there. On the left-hand side, especially, you have the mask of Tut Ankh Amun. Okay. Tut Ankh Amun literally means Tut, the image. Ankh means life or living, and Amun. So Amun means the hidden one. So Tut Ankh Amun literally, the image, the living image of the hidden one. So the living image of the unknown, basically, or the Most High. Okay, that's what his name actually means within inside of the language. And as you can see on his forehead, or on what he's wearing there, I don't know, Gabz, do you know what he's wearing there? Can you see what he's wearing there? You just got to unmute your mic, family. I don't know if it's clear enough.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
What, you talking about the crown, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You talking about is it the Nemesis?
Yep, it's the Mesis or the Nemes.
Nemes, yes, the Nemes.
Right there.
Yeah.
All right. So as you can see, there's two creatures on top of his head. Okay. One of them is actually a cobra, which we call Wajet, and the other one there is Nechebet, which is a vulture, basically. And with knowledge itself, you realize that every single aspect of knowledge has its polarity or has its opposing factor. In that being said, we have, for example, in that being said, you have the reptilian. Okay, you have the reptilian in the form of the cobra, and you also have the mammalian in the form of, or an aviarian in the form of the bird. Okay, these are the two opposite natures. There's cold-blooded and warm-blooded. Then you have something that lies on the floor, okay, which is the cobra, moves on the floor, and then you have something that moves inside of the air. These are showing you the polarities and the opposites when it comes to knowledge. For example, when we have the word knowledge, knowledge lets one know that if there is knowledge, there must be the opposite of knowledge. What is the opposite of knowledge, Gabz?
Knowledge, wisdom.
No, the opposite of knowledge. To be without knowledge. What does that mean?
Oh, to be without knowledge. Shoot, I don't know. What would you call it?
You don't know the opposite of knowledge, my brother? Come on, I know it's late, but it can't be that late.
What's the opposite?
The opposite of knowledge is ignorance, of course. Is to be in a state of folly, to be in a state of ignorance. And with inside the ancient Egyptian teachings, again, that terminology there is the term waka. So I don't know if you lot read your Bibles before, and it says, Jesus said, you lot could be liable to hell if you call your brother a fool. And the word for fool at that particular moment was something called raka. Okay. And obviously in the Igbo language as well, we have something called waka as well, which means you are a fool, basically. So within inside both of the or in all of those different languages, the term waka, raka, all means the same thing: to be ignorant, to be empty-headed, to be in a state of folly. All right. In a state of folly and ignorance leads one to the state of death, into the death stage. But fortunately for us, we're actually trying to get into the state of life and liberty. Okay. And that is the teachings of Rach, or to be a sage, to be a wise person, to be somebody who knows. Okay. Is to get close onto to Ra. So you have those two symbols of Nechebet and Wajet. Both of them are opposites, but they teach and inculcate two different aspects of your brain hemisphere. You have your left brain hemisphere and you also have your right brain hemisphere. If you only know anything about that, you have the reptilian brain and then you have the mammalian brain, or you have something that deals with logic. Logic tends to deal with deductive logic, and inductive logic tends to move in a straight direction. It's literally straight. So when you see a cobra actually striking something or about to attack something, it moves in what direction? It moves in a straight striking direction. Then you have the vulture itself, which is Nechebet, or the vulture, Ma'ut. Okay, you see it does a very it moves in a circular motion. It sees its prey, it sees the animal on the floor, it's dead, and it swoops down circularly. Okay, so these are the two opposites that moves with it. So that's to deal with the right side of the brain, the much more reasoning aspect of the brain, deals with the arts, deals with It deals with arts, it deals with music, it deals with emotions and so forth. These are the two aspects or two hemispheres of your brain, okay, that one has to cultivate when one comes into the state of knowledge and knowing called rech, okay? So you learn about deductive logic, inductive logic, abductive logic as well, the capacity to reason and capacity to actually grasp information from the spiritual realm as well. So these are all forms of different types of knowledge that one may gather and grasp once you are inducted or initiated into a spiritual school or into an ancient Egyptian Kemetic order itself. All right. Did you want to touch on anything there, my brother?
Yes, I definitely did. I was waiting. Just for my Christian people that's dealing with the Christian faith as well. As you can see, the brother Kalam broke down one of the main symbols there. And one of the name symbols some of our Christian brothers and sisters should be familiar with is that reptilian, that serpent. Because we all know what happened in that Garden of Eden. Yeah, at the beginning when Adam and Eve was created. You know, they had that talking serpent that was spitting some knowledge. You see what I'm saying? That serpent that told Adam and Eve to eat from that tree of knowledge of good and evil. Do you see what I'm saying? And then obviously you see what happened. The serpent is demonized. Some people claim that it's the devil, where some people say that it's just the serpent. Well, me, in my opinion, I don't see the serpent as the devil. I see the serpent as a creature which was created, which was bringing that wisdom to Adam and Eve. So we can see where obviously the religious people have now demonized the serpent, whereas in Kemetic or in ancient Egypt, the serpent still represented wisdom. And actually, even in the Bible, it still represented wisdom. But we'll touch on that as well.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's still representing knowledge. When we're going to Musa, Mushe, still representing knowledge, still representing wisdom, still representing healing and all sorts. We can go into for days for these types of things here. So I want to do, I just want to run through a lot of stuff real quickly because hopefully maybe another day, hopefully tomorrow maybe, I would love to go into much more detail and depth, but it's because we're starting so late. We're just going to just run through certain things real quickly with you guys to kind of grasp an understanding of what we actually deal with itself. All right. So we have, we have the knowledge aspect. That is one of the key fundamental components of actually being a so-called Kemetic or somebody who follows Ma'at. Ma'at, yet again, one of the other meanings for the word Ma'at or Ma'a is the one who sees. Seeing is actually knowing. It's not believing, it's actually knowing itself. So that's one of the key fundamentals that actually, sets others apart from each other. It actually sets, religious people apart from Kemetics in that aspects, because Kemet actually deals with science. Most time, another phraseology that we utilize to actually talk about the Kemetic information and its so-called philosophy or religion, whatever people want to actually call it. It's Kemetic science. It deals with science. That's why a lot of times most brothers can get along real nicely with atheists from the Kemetic school because they're talking the same thing. Basically, they're dealing with science. This is the same thing that we're talking about. So again, let me actually go into some more information for you guys as well. And I wanted to actually touch on something real quickly. I think it was very imperative that I actually touched on it. So you can actually start, utilizing certain texts that, certain Kemetics actually use. All right. And I'm actually going to give you something from the Hermetica. For those of you guys who know about the Hermetica, this is the teachings of Hermes, basically. Most religious people may not be aware of it, but others within inside of the religious schools, especially in the Islamic world, especially in the Judaic realm, they know 100% about this stuff here. This is kind of like a key text that breaks things down for them. So I'm going to give it to you here. So hopefully you lot can, gain some information, gathering some information of how Kemetics actually think. All right. So now, let me actually go here. So going forth to preach. All right. I know a lot of Kemetics that we tend not to actually go forward and actually do any dawah or calling people or preaching or teaching anybody, but it's actually incumbent upon you to actually do this for the betterment of your own race and your own people. Is to actually go out there and make your voice be known and call people away from their ignorance into the truth, into light, and into life and everlasting life indeed. So anyways, it says here, I thanked and blessed the father of all, Atum. I'm paraphrasing, and was sent forth, empowered and instructed concerning the nature of all, and with a supreme vision. So those of you guys, after you have been initiated and gone through your certain trials and tribulations, you tend afterwards, for those of you who knows, who've been raised to live in perpendicular and so forth by the grip of the lion's paw. I'm talking to you guys. You know what I'm talking about. After you searched you searched for that which was lost and you found it, and you've traveled from the east to the west and so forth. Okay, it's now your duty to go out into the world and call others back into the light and the truth. For those guys, you know who I'm talking about, what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, right? You know what I'm talking about? I hope you do. For those guys, it is incumbent upon you, after being empowered and instructed in the things that you have particularly learned with inside of nature, and you have learned that supreme vision about the creator, etc., etc. It is now incumbent upon you for you to go out and preach to the people of the beauty of piety and gnosis. Okay, the beauty of piety and gnosis, to being godlike individuals, and for knowledge as well. And it says here, all people born of the earth, given over to drunkenness and sleep and ignorance of God. Okay, so those of you who are in drunkenness and sleep, you're in a state of amnesia and in a state of not what's the opposite of sobriety. You're in a state of drunkenness where your senses are completely null and null and densified, and you're completely ignorant of the truth, or ignorant of God, ignorant of light, and ignorant of life. End your drunkenness and unreasoning sleep. When they heard this, they gathered around me. I said, why have you accepted death when you have given the power when you have been given the power to enjoy immortality? Change your ways, and who walk with error and keep company with ignorance, free yourself of darkness and seize the light, abandon corruption and receive immortality. And some of them mocked me and left me, for they had given themselves to death. But others begged me to teach them, and they threw themselves at my feet. I raised them up and became a guide to people, teaching them the word and how that they might be saved. So I've, the purpose of me actually reading this out, this is actually one of our most famous teachers, which goes by the name of Jehuti, otherwise goes by the name of Thoth, otherwise goes by the name of Hermes for the Greeks, Mercury to the Romans, Enoch to the Hebrews, and Idris to the Arabs as well. So this is one of our very famous, very profound, very intellectual teachers right here. He was the father of so-called prophets or priests or people who actually taught individuals, because he was the very first one to actually write, to learn about nature, to learn about science and so forth, and gave that science to the rest of humanity. Those people who belong to Kabbalistic schools, they all know who this individual is. Those of you who belong to the Sufi orders, y'all know who this individual is. Those of you lot who belong to Gnostic Christianity, you know who this individual is. Those of you lot who belong to fraternities and special orders, you lot know who this individual is as well. Very profound individual. So it gives us the method of what we must do to actually get back into a state of liberty. So most of us, we're actually in a state of death right now. To be in a state of ignorance is synonymous with being in a state of death. Okay, I'm going to repeat that again. Being in a state of ignorance, okay, according to Jehuti, is being in a state of death, is being in a state of sleep, is being in a state of a disease or sickness. And guess what? My brother Gabz, what is the cure? What is that? What do we call the cure? We call the cure
the medicine,
the medicine, okay? The medicine right there. So most of us, we need that medicine. We need that medicine to actually cure us from our sleep, our slumber, our death-like state. And one of the key things that was utilized to actually cure us from that death-like state, let me actually show you from an ancient Egyptian perspective. You seeing that, family? You seeing that right here? So most of us are in that state right here. Do you see the sarcophagus right there? Can you see that, Gabz? That's where we are right now. We're in that death-like state right there. We're in sickness. We're in sickness, and we need individuals from all the four different directions, from north, east, south, west, okay? And we need the women as well to come together, okay, and to teach us and bring us back and to protect us and bring us back into liberty, okay? This is a story of Asar right here in the middle. We've got Anupu, which is the guide who is there to restore us back into life, to breathe those words back into us, to rejuvenate us, to resurrect us back into liberty. So, go ahead.
Sorry, brother, to cut you off. Can you just say that one more time? We need who? to help resurrect us?
We need Anupu, and we need
Yeah.
the women.
The who?
Women.
The who?
The women.
Okay, then. I just wanted to hear that
Women
clearly.
to come back and to resurrect us. Now, for those of you guys who don't know the story, I don't know. Do you know the story of Asar, my brother?
Asar, of course, yeah, 100.
Okay, so we have we have the beautiful, the good king, the just king. We have the king Asar himself. He represents goodness profound. Okay, he is Unefer. He is the everlasting goodness. He was the great king, and unfortunately for him, okay, his brother in humanity, his brother Sutuk Set was a very envious king, very jealous individual that actually wanted to have his position as king and ruler. He saw how humanity loved this particular king, and he devised a plan and a plot to actually trick this particular king to kill him and to usurp his throne itself. So what he did, he tricked him into a sarcophagus, into a box. He killed him. He cut him up into 14 different pieces, and he transported those different 14 pieces all around. He just scattered them to the four corners of the earth, to the winds, so to speak. Okay, and then luckily enough, he's Asar's wife, Aset, and his sister, which is Satuk's wife as well, by the name of Nepthed. They actually went out to gather the different pieces together to mummify him, to wrap him up, and then to do Hunika. You know what I'm talking about, brother? They did Hunika. Yeah, they did Hunika, or they done Hecker as well. Okay, so they used authoritative words to activate the spirit, the energy within that being. Okay, and this is what is going on today. Okay, so what's going on today? This is what went on in history. Okay, where we actually have people like Harriet Tubman. Okay, we had Harriet Tubman. She went out to find those slaves who didn't even know that they were slaves. Some of them said that, you know what? She said that if those slaves knew that they were slaves, I could have gathered 1,000 more. So there was people who didn't even know that they were in a state of death. So that's what's going on today. What we're actually saying to you, this is a beautiful, great analogy of what's taking place today and what has taken place within history. Okay, we've had our brother. We are the Asar. I'm talking about you, my brothers and sisters out there. Okay, we are the Asars. Okay, we are. When we die, we actually in Kemetic mythology as well, and in Kemetic schools, we actually become an Asar. Okay, we actually become Asar. We actually become the divinity. But what takes place is our brothers in humanity, they saw how beautiful Africa was. They saw how we ruled just and fair. They saw that. They saw how great we was. They saw our resources, how people loved us. And our brothers in humanity, namely the Europeans, namely the Arabs, what did they ended up doing? They ended up smiling, beguiling, and tricking us into that sarcophagus, into our own prison, into our own deathbed, okay? Into our own deathbed, whether it's the good sheep Jesus or whether it is in their particular religion, whatever it is, they entombed us, okay? And they chopped up our bodies. And then they scattered us to the four corners of the earth, to the winds. So what did they do? They enslaved us, okay? They enslaved us and they scattered us off into the Americas, over into the Caribbeans, over into Europe, over into Arabia, over into India, and so forth and so forth. That is what they did to us. They took away our ability, okay? They took away our body parts are our different abilities. Every single one of you out there has this particular gift, a particular power. They are a particular element or body part of the whole, of the Asar itself. And we have been scattered and diversified. Okay, we are in the diaspora, but guess what? It's our time. We have our Harriet Tubmans. Okay, and we also have, what's that white lady called again? That white lady that did the experiments. He was talking about blue eyes and the brown hair, the blue eyes and the brown eyes. And we have people like Tim Wise. Okay.
I forgot her name.
Okay. And then we have individuals like Tim Wise. So, a lot of people, so-called have no love and trust for the white man. Okay. But in the story of Asar, it was Satuk's own wife. Okay. So sometimes you'll get that helping hand from your enemy's consort. Your enemy, your so-called enemies consort will actually be there to guide you as well. You have your people like your what's that called, Wilberforce, okay? Those people who are actually on the other side, actually there to actually aid you and help you as well. Then you have people on your own side, like your Harriet Tubmans, like your Malcolm X's, like your Marcus Garvey, like your Honorable Elijah Muhammad, like your Farrakhan, like your Tazariaks, like your you know, what's a General Commanding General Yohana. You have all these different types of individuals, okay, that are trying to bring back the different parts of Asar, the different parts of your bodies back together again. Okay, until it's time for us to be rejuvenated. Because what most people don't even know, that they're actually dead. They're in a state of ignorance. They don't actually know that they're actually dead. They don't know this, you know. You know, there is a text in here. There's actually a text in our Egyptian text here that talks about these people. I'm going to quickly try to pull it up real quickly for you, my brother. Yeah. But if you can, yeah, just hop onto something real quickly, and then I'll bring it up. So kill some time and let me just get onto something.
Yeah, I'm glad you're dealing with this information. Do you know what I mean? I've just been reading the comment section. I've been seeing a lot of sick comments, you know, from some sick people. Do you know what I mean? But it's fine. Do you know what I mean? We don't mind people putting in their sick comments. Do you know what I mean? Because we're still going to deliver that medicine. You know what I mean? Regardless, medicine's still going to get delivered to the people that need the medicine. And the sick people, guess what? Yeah, that's what I'm going to say to you. You know what I mean? We still love you, but you're sick and you need help. But I'm glad that the brother's bringing this information, because this is the type of information that people that want the knowledge and understanding should deal with, and empower yourselves with that knowledge. Do you know what I mean? But like I always say, don't take our words for it. You know what I mean? Go out, do the research. Do you know what I mean? Always research, always look up stuff, always question stuff. Do you know what I mean? Because it's to better yourself. So I'm just glad for this information, and obviously we're going to be dropping more information just like this. So stay tuned for more medicine, because it's going to come in big doses. You know what I mean? So stay tuned.
That's right. So, you know, I'm just going to quickly draw from some Seba'it right now. So this is the Seba'it from Ptahhotep, okay? One of the very first wisdom literatures. And it calls these people, these types of people that you're discussing right here, it calls them, they are living death each day, you know? So I don't know if you've been watching The Walking Dead, okay? But that's what they literally are, you know? Fear the Walking Dead or The Walking Dead. They're literally people out there who are literally the walking dead. They're living a death every single day, and they don't even know it. Most people don't know that they're slaves. Most people don't know that they're dead, full stop, and they're just living as such. Okay, we have certain spells spells or invocations or chapters within inside of the Book of the Dead, okay, or the Coming Forth by Day, or the Perhem Heru, and it talks about those individuals that you know, their mouths has been taken away from them, okay, their heart has been taken away from them. All right, their arms, their bodies, they've been walking upside down in the hereafter and so forth. What they don't understand, these are actually symbolic languages or analogies to what's going on today. Most people don't even realize that their mouth has been taken away from them. Their tongue has been taken away from them. If I ask you guys out there who are coming from the Caribbean background, and even so those of you who are coming from the African background as well, like, what is your mother tongue? What is your language? Could you speak it to me? Do you know your language? Like, these are the things, you know, if you watch Roots, Kunta Kente, you know, your name is Toby. No, my name is Kunta Kente. Your name is Toby. You know them ways there. Like, this is what's going on right now. Our tongues, our mouth has been taken away from us. These are the body parts of Asar. Has been taken away from us. Our mind, yeah, is in a state of sleep, amnesia. Inside of the Hermetica, he called it unreasoning sleep. It's in a state of sleep. We don't even know who we are, you know. My brothers and sisters, yeah, if you actually, I said this today on Content Over Everything. Imagine if our brothers and sisters actually woke up, watch Roots. My brothers, go and watch some Roots and find out who you are and what other races of people have actually done to you. And tell me if the ancestors don't wake up inside of you. You with me? You with me? We've lost so many different elements of ourselves, okay, that is in a state of decomposition. There's in a state of decomposition. Our arms, like, look at us right now. What are we producing as African Black people nowadays? What are we producing with our hands in terms of technology? What are we producing? We're not producing much. You see what I'm saying? Because our hands are being tied. You know, there's literally a verse within inside the coming forth by day talking about our hands being tied. Okay, what's going on with our bodies ourselves in terms of our economy? What's going on with our finances? That aspect of us has been taken away from us. Our health has been taken away from us. We're eating McDonald's, we're eating Burger King, we're having all these different foods. Like, what is your original food? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Our ears have been taken away from us. We don't even know our names no more. We've got other brothers and sisters from the Arabic, from the Muslim world who can, who can recite their forefathers up to like a 10th generation. We barely know our grandfathers and grandmothers. And most of us don't even know who our fathers are. Imagine that. Imagine that. There's so much that's been taken away from us. And what we're trying to do right now, we're trying to do that heka. We're trying to rejuvenate. We're trying to resurrect you by giving you knowledge of self. Knowledge of self. And you know what? Our teachings teaches us to forgive those individuals who do not know self. Okay, it teaches us to forgive you guys, like forgive them, for they do not know what they're doing. Okay, because they're in a state of ignorance. They're like minorities. They're like children. We just simply say, forget about it. We're not going to hold ourselves like, no, we're not going to do that. We simply know that you're in a state of ignorance, and we're here to give you the medicine. We know that you're sick. Yeah, we know that a lot of you lot are just sick individuals, and it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Guess whose fault it is? It's society's fault for breeding you the way you are. Yeah, it's white supremacy fault for breeding you the way you are. You with me? There is the racial blindness that's breeding you the way you are. The spiritual ignorance is breeding you the way you are. You're ignorant about finances. Most of you guys have been taught for all your lives, the love of money is the root of all evil. Like, money is the root of, and when you see money, you want to be avert from it. No. The proper teaching is the lack of money is the root of all evil. Because if you don't have no money and you're in a state of poverty, guess what happens? You're going to do bang, bang and get your money any way you have to, because you need to eat to live. You with me? You need to eat to live. And most people are just eating to survive, but you need to eat to live. So, let me just quickly jump onto something real quickly. What are you saying, King?
Yeah, man, I'm there, man. I'm there. Just listening to you break down this stuff, and it's true, man. I just read in the comments again. One of the brothers just said, anytime black people try to deal with their knowledge and stuff, we always got the haters. We always got the haters trying to stop us elevating ourselves. Do you know what I mean? And it's funny, it's weird. It's weird to see anytime, and we've said this many, many times on the shows before, anytime the black man and woman try to elevate themselves and push themselves to a state of knowing themselves again, we have people, we have hecklers, doing hecker on us, trying to stop us from getting the knowledge of self. You know what I mean? I just don't understand it. It's just crazy to see. But like I said, it's the sickness. You know what I mean? And we know that there's people that are sick out there, and they're trying to spread their sickness and their germs on us. Do you know what I mean? But listen, at the end of the day, that medicine is still going to get delivered one way or another. And we're still going to bring that information for the kids, for our younger generation, for the generations to come, because they need this knowledge. Do you know what I mean? So me, Brother Kalam, and the rest of the brothers and sisters who are out here in the team that want to push this knowledge, we're still going to keep doing it, regardless of the sick people out there. You know what I mean? So I just want to let that be known.
That's right. Still going to be dispensing that medicine. Trust me. We're the pharmaceutical company right about now. We're into this. We're here for you. We're here for you, family. We know who you are, and we know what type of medicine you need. All right. So real quickly, I want to just jump back into certain things. I don't know if we should touch into some text right about now. I know I got some text over here that I can jump into. Let me just quickly have a quick look. See, I was going to touch on to certain things real quickly to do with, what we read out of the Hermetica and how it talked about, knowledge. Knowledge is actually leads to immortality. See, one of the, the fundamental things that's not really being taught is that I dropped some of this knowledge today, from the ancient Egyptian perspective, we are called the Remech. The Remech literally means the teardrops of Ra. Okay, the teardrops of the Son, of the Most High, of God, whichever name you want to classify and call it as. And in that being said, being the teardrops of Ra, we were said to be the Senem, okay, the Senem nature, or we was made in the Sesh nature. We were made in the Sechem nature. We was made in the image of God itself. Okay, when we looked at ourselves in the mirror, when you do look at yourselves in the mirror, no say that you are actually in after the image of God itself. All right, you're in and after the image of God. And to know God, guess what? Is to know self. To know self is to know God. To know God is to know the universe. To know the universe is to know self. To know self is to know the universe, and is to know God. Those were the tripartite teachings that we learned, which is really and truly one in nature. What I mean by that is the beginning of all knowledge is to know thyself. Once one knows thyself, one knows that you actually a duplicit. Duplicit? That's not the wrong word. You are actually a dual being. Okay, you are a dual being, meaning one half of you is made up of the cosmos. The cosmos is actually your father. The universe, nature, is actually the one that bred and created you into the being that you are today. You had to utilize the earth, the dust of the air, all sorts to create you as a human physical being today. All right. So, the Bible, the Quran, and all sorts, they pick it up as, God. God molded man. Also, you see Khanum molding man into the shape that he is today, using the elements of the universe to mold you into a physical, corporal being as you are today. But guess what? You have another element inside of you, okay? The immortal element inside of you. The element that sleeps not even whilst it's asleep, okay? That's the element that comes from God. We call it the ruh or the nefesh, the ruh of God, the spirit of God is now breathed into you, into life, into you. The ka, that element is actually breathed into you to activate you, to energize you to be who you are today. And most people, they cling on to the abid nature, okay? The abid nature is the slave nature, the nature that belongs to the cosmos itself, okay? And they think that their physical body is them. No, your physical body is not you, okay? You possess a physical body, but you're an ensouled being. That means that your physical body was created, yes, constructed based upon the universe, but your soul, okay, it was breathed inside or was placed inside of you or that human physical flesh. And that physical soul or that soul itself comes from Ra, okay? It's literally the teardrop of Ra. It's literally the essence, the elements of Ra, okay? And to know yourself is to know that you're made up of the universe, and you're also made up of that universal being, that energy, that indestructible matter, which we call our Ba, which we call the soul, or which we call Ra. Okay, so to know yourself is to know the universe, and it's also to know God. Are you with me? I know most people may not catch that, but I will definitely try again to speak it forth in another term for you guys to understand. Okay, because gnosis is literally knowledge of self, knowledge of the universe, and knowledge of God, which is really all three of those things are one in nature. And again, for those of you guys, I don't know, let me try to break this down for another level of individuals who can understand it, because I know we got a lot of my spiritual, moralistic individuals who are tuned in right now that belongs to particular orders. So for example, when you lot come in on the level, okay, when you come in on the level and you enter as an apprentice, okay, you enter as an apprentice, the first thing that you are taught is knowledge of self. You are taught knowledge of self. You are taught how to handle and control your emotions, not to be too rash, not to be too fast, okay, and not to be too laggard, okay, not to be too fast and not to be too laggard, okay. There is one famous saying that says that curiosity doesn't kill the cat, it strangles the cat. For those of you guys who understand, you know that curiosity actually strangles the cat rather than kills the cat, okay? For those of you guys also know, you can be poignant or get a poignant pointed towards you if you're moving too rash as well. So these are the particular teachings that you're taught when you enter as an apprentice. When you move up to the second level, okay, as a fellow crafts, you are not now taught about the universe, about nature, okay? You're now being given the tools to identify the universe and nature. All right. And you with me? I know you're with me. I know some of you guys, you're with me, right? And then obviously you move up to the third degree. Okay. That third degree is when you have mastered yourself and you become a master to another degree, and you start learning the spiritual element. You start learning who and what God is. You with me? You start learning that spiritual self. You start learning that. because it now becomes the death of the builder and the resurrection and life-giving properties of the grand architect of the universe. And now you become one with that center. You with me? Hopefully, some of you guys are with me. You're walking with me and you're learning. These are the three-part nature of God. And these are the 3 degrees that you must climb in order to have gnosis itself. Depending on whichever spiritual school order you belong to, we all go through this very same steps and processes in order to resurrect ourselves and to transform ourselves into or effective beings that's been sent back out into the world. My brother, jump in real quickly so I can grab some information.
Yeah, I just wanted to break down something, actually, going back to the bit you were speaking about to do with this God creating the man from the dust and the clay, and then breathing in the immortal soul. For our religious brothers and sisters, you should understand that, because look, prior to God creating anything, the only thing that was aware of itself and understood itself was God. It was only God. God was the only thing that was aware, that had knowledge. Yeah, and that was the only thing that was immortal. Yeah. Now, God created man from the clay. The point that God created man from the clay was not aware and it was not alive. So I'm going to say that again. The clay was not aware and it was not alive and it was not immortal. Yeah. The only point where the clay came alive and aware was when God breathed in his awareness, his soul and his spirit into the clay, and it became a living soul. Do you understand that? So to say God is in the clay. So the God has lowered himself into the clay, into the physical realm. Yeah. So this is what we mean when we say that God is within us. Like, we are God. This the same thing. The only thing is now we have a physical cocoon. Yeah. So you have the clay that wasn't alive, wasn't aware, wasn't moving, only until something that was aware and alive, which was only God, put himself into the clay. Then it became alive and was able to think and look and learn and understand certain things. Do you understand that? So that's why we break down this whole thing about we are God in the physical flesh. If you don't understand that, then don't worry. There's still more medicine.
They need the medicine. Family members out there, please also show me the love. Show me that you're liking the show as well by giving us some big thumbs up. Okay, I've seen we're on 22 right now. Let's get up to like 40 likes at least, my brothers and sisters. We've got over 100 people tuned in right now. Show us that you love the information. Let us know that we're giving you things that other channels may not necessarily be giving to you. Okay, we're trying our very best to divulge some information that usually is, best kept sacred, is best kept secret, is best kept hidden from the masses itself. So hopefully, we're actually divulging some good information to you that you appreciate. So just hit us up with some likes. Let us know that you're feeling the information that we're dropping to you right now. And we'll continue. We'll continue small. We'll continue small still. We're actually reaching the end. We're actually reaching the end because I wanted to do a real quick show to give you guys some information. But let's see if we can just continue a little bit further. So we've acknowledged the fact that most people are in a state of death right now. They're actually in a state of death. They're in a state of ignorance. They're in a state of sleep, unreasoning sleep, indeed, actually, unreasoning sleep. They're in that stage right now. And it's our duty for those people who have been empowered and instructed, okay, within the side of the ways of Kemet and inside of the other spiritual systems as well. Hopefully, my other brothers and sisters, wherever you're, Kabbalistics, wherever you're Masons, wherever you're Rossis, wherever you're Sufis, whatever it is, it's incumbent upon you guys to actually go forth. Sikhs, Hindus, is incumbent upon you guys, for those who are lost, to give them back the light. Okay, to tell them to leave the physical, the lower nature, the lesser degrees alone. It's time for you to leave those lesser degrees, okay, and get into the information, into knowledge, into learning, because that knowledge, okay, that knowledge should be able to transform you back into a state of life. Most people are wondering, like, fam, why do you want to learn African history for? Like, I know something, I believe it's Dr. Wesley Muhammad said they wouldn't waste no money or time studying African history. But we have our greats that told us, Marcus Garvey that told us that a tree without no roots, okay, a tree without no roots is like a people without no history. So if you don't have your history, you're going to be dead. And most of us are in a state of death, okay? And guess what's going to happen to you once you're in a state of death? History tends to repeat itself. History is actually cyclical. It's actually cyclical, okay? So unless you want your children's children or your family in 100 years' time to go through the same thing that took place 400 years ago in slavery. Do you know what slavery was? Do you know what it felt like to be kidnapped and so forth? Do you want your family members to go back into that? Most of you don't even know about it and the extent of it and how it took place. So therefore, you will fall back into that same trap. And we're trying our very best to actually educate you so to make sure you never go back into that ever again. Okay, the Holocaust, Jews are taught about the Holocaust every single year. They even taught about, you know, when they supposedly were in Egypt, okay, and you have the whole Exodus and so forth. They're taught about that every single year. They have festivities about this. They're taught their history every single year. But you, black people, African people, you want to be completely null, dull, and I don't even know, ignorant of these facts for your own self. Like, you need to learn and you need to keep game and be wise. Literally, you know what's happening right now? You know what's happening? History is actually repeating itself. It's not repeating itself to the same people, but it's repeating itself to a different group of people. And those who are peeping game and who are wise can see it. Guess what's happening? We got new niggas being born today. We got new niggas being born today. And you know who the new niggas? Guess who the new niggas are? They call them the sand niggas. Okay? These are the Muslims. Okay? You guys are becoming the new niggas. You guys are being the new ones who are being targeted by the police. Don't get it twisted. You're the ones being targeted by the government nowadays, and you lot don't even know it. Okay, most of you lot do know it, but it's the same thing that black people went through. The Jews. Okay, it's why we love the Jews, you know, at times, and the Irish, because they went through a similar struggle that we went through. Okay, and we can show the love back to them because we understand their struggle. We understand that they went through a process of genocide. We understand that they were treated the worst of the worst and so forth, even by their fellow white individuals. We understand that. Okay, so what was taking place in Nazi Germany, it almost seems as though it's going to repeat itself inside of European culture, where Muslims are actually being targeted. Have you noticed that? Okay, as I'm speaking lovingly about you Muslims right now, you lot are actually being targeted right now, all right? Where you might, sooner or later, there might be some laws where you lot need to be extradited. You see what I'm saying? If Trump has his ways and if new policies are coming in, you see how they're targeting the Europeans coming in. You have the whole Brexit going on right now, and you have the Europeans from like Poland, Italy, and France are living in this country and so forth, but their stay is not even guaranteed. If they've been in this country for 5 years or less, under 5 years, they may be deported back to their own countries. But those who've been here for longer than 5 years, guess what? They'll be able to stay. They're even talking about other people from different countries. If their children, okay, if their children do something wrong and breaks the law, they may be deporting them back because, you know, the whole immigration is going crazy right about now. So guess what? Certain individuals are going to become the new niggas. They're going to become the new Jews, okay? Where these types of processes where you're going to be feeling more victimized and so forth is going to be taking place, all right? But we're learning this history, okay? We learn the history. We learn the history of the Jews. We learn the history of the Arabs. It's time for us to learn the history of the Africans and understand the Holocaust that we went through, the genocide that we went through, the indoctrination and the slavery that we went through. So never again with a Columbus ever turn up on our shores talking about he's discovered our lands. Never again. Okay? Never again with that what's the Dutch guy called again that came that came over to the Congo?
Leopold, yeah, King Leopold.
Never again with a King Leopold coming to our country again. Never again with these Portuguese coming and trying to enslave us again. Never again. Hopefully for some of us, we've learned our lesson. For some of us, we've learned that our brothers, okay, our brothers who are smiling and beguiling us, smiling at us, beguiling with us, or beguiling us to step into our own sarcophagus. We won't allow that to happen again. We won't. We shouldn't be able to allow that to happen again. All right. So that's the importance of learning our own history, learning our culture, learning how to safeguard ourselves. Okay. These things are important. You have brothers and sisters that are, you know, Arabs, are Chinese, are Indian, and all sorts. You know, you could be on a bus journey or a train journey, tube journey into London, and you can hear all like 15 different languages being spoken, and they could even be speaking about you, but you are there on your ones, and you don't even know your own language. You don't even have another person to even speak your language to. You with me? You with me? So like, don't you think it's time for us to learn our own languages? Don't you think it's time that we have a unifying language, just as the Arabs or the Muslims have Arabic to unify them? They can all speak their other languages, but they have one language that can unify them, a lingua franca. Look at the Christians. They had Latin during the Middle Ages over into the 18th century, and even 19th, 20th century amongst the elite educated to actually unify them. They even had Koine Greek as well to unify them. Don't you think we should actually establish amongst African nations a global language that can unify us, and we actually learn it as a classical language, and we also learn our own tongue, mother tongues, and also a trade language as well? Don't you think we should learn all of these different types of things? Let me know. Don't you think we should learn these things? Because guess what? Every other people, every other nation is set, okay? Is set right now. And it's only us, okay? We had my brother Adnan Rashid here saying, yeah, like, I would love to see the African people rise up and stand for themselves. Yeah, you love that. And you want to be the one to, a lot of the Asians and Europeans, they have a messiah complex or a savior complex. They want to help and save African people. But when African people actually stand up to help themselves and to educate their own, to stand up on their own 2 feet, they want to slander us. They actually want to character assassinate us. They want to kill us before we even start our mission. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? You want Africans to stand up for themselves, but when Africans do stand up for themselves, we're now labeled racists because we've acknowledged the fact that we are actually, when they're talking about superiority and inferiority, we are the most inferior people on the planet today in terms of status. In terms of status, we are the most inferior people in terms of status today. And we simply want to stand up for ourselves, educate and draw awareness to our brothers and sisters who don't even realize that we are the bottom of the totem pole in terms of the socioeconomic ladder. We're at the bottom of it. Make them aware of it. Make them aware that we're slaves right now. Come on, family. We're dead. We're economically dead. We're socially dead. We're politically dead. Okay? We're all these things here. We're dead right now. You don't even want us to make our family, our brothers, our sisters, our extended family know that we're dead, and then to give them the medicine to lift them up and raise them up. You would rather them stay within inside of white supremacy and within inside of Arab dominion. That's what you would rather us stay and be seen and seem as the helping hand. Oh yes, look, we're helping here. We're doing charity over here. We're traveling to Mozambique. We're traveling to, I don't know, Ethiopia to help out the starving poor African children and so forth. You would love that narrative because it makes you seem good. It makes you look as a good person. But in reality, you're not a good person if you don't want Africans to truly stand up for themselves, and you want to slander us and say that we're actually all these negative words. Now, we ain't all these negative words. Auzu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. I reject that. I thoroughly reject that. We're not all of these words. We simply identify the problem. Yeah. Then most of you guys are sleeping. You're completely sleeping on. Yeah. And we're now here to give our people the medicine. But that medicine is offensive to you for some reason. I do not know why. I do not know why that medicine is offensive to you. Go ahead, my brother.
Yeah. No, I know why. I definitely know why, because some of our people they tend to they love the kidnapper now. Do you know what I mean? They become best friends with the kidnapper. Do you know what I mean? They forgot that they've been kidnapped from somewhere and that they're suffering from post-traumatic slave syndrome, and now they're best friends with their kidnappers and that, and they forgot themselves. And then when you do have brothers trying to pull them and say, "Look, come away, come, look," they're like, "No, don't bring me to this knowledge of self. I don't want to understand it. I like it right here." Do you see what I'm saying? I like it just where I am. They become comfortable. Do you see what I'm saying? It's not.
As Richie said, there was one brother. He says, "I don't want to know this. I don't want to know this African shit or this black shit."
Yeah. There you
What?
go.
You don't want to know this black family. What color?
Yeah.
What color are you? You know, what's
Yeah.
your heritage? What's your background? You don't want to know this African, this black shit. And that's how they think about Africans and black people. And that's how they think about themselves.
Yeah.
You with me? That is so disgusting. It's unbelievable. But anyway, continue, King. Continue.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, but we understand. Obviously, we know it's not our brothers and sisters' faults. We understand. We can see what's happening. Do you know what I mean? This is why we always recommend people to go and do the research and see what was happening, because I keep seeing people throwing up, but it was Africans that sold the Africans into slavery. No. Go and do the proper research and see the domino effect of what happened from the beginning. Take your time and do the domino effect all the way to present day, and you will see the reason why we are how we are and the way we think. Do you see what I'm saying? Because there's been so much stuff that's happened to us. It's true what the brother's saying. We are in sleep paralysis. Do you know what I mean? We're trying to shake brothers and sisters up, but they want to stay in it. Do you know what I mean? They don't want to wake up. Do you know what I mean? They want to stay plugged in to this matrix. Do you see what I'm saying? And anytime we do try to give our brothers and sisters the information, we just have, I just don't get how we have these hecklers, and then we even have our own brothers and sisters turning their back on us. Do you know what I mean? We're trying to teach you about Africa and the landmass and what your culture and what you was dealing with, but it's like our own brothers and sisters don't want to know. They're like, nah, man, stop that African stuff. Stop all that stuff. Do you know why? But we understand, because your African culture has been demonized in the media. It's been demonized in the films. It's been demonized all over the place. It's been demonized in religion, because guess what? Anyone that's not dealing with religions is pagans. So your ancestors that was dealing with stuff prior to the religion, obviously they're pagans now. So the religion says these people are pagans, so we can't deal with them. Do you know what I mean? They're voodoo worshippers. They deal with magic. They deal with ancestors. Go and pray to your ancestors. But it's funny though, because the people in religion, guess what? You're dealing with the ancestors of the religion. Your ancestors is Abraham, Jacob, Ishmael, Moses. These are all their ancestors. Do you know what I mean? These are the ancestors that they look up to. Do you know what I mean? But yet they want to get us when we're talking about our ancestors. No. Don't go with those African ancestors. You know what I mean? And one thing people need to realize is this as well. Look at this. Let's take Egypt, for example. We're going to deal with that. They dig up your ancestors' bones. Yeah? Put them in museums to make money. Yeah? For the people who don't even belong to the land. Can anybody show me any museum where I can see Julius Caesar? Show me where I can see any of the Roman greats in a museum, like showing their bones just there on show. Show me where I can see any of the Arabs greats, their bones in museums. Show me where I can go to China and see the bones of their. Show me where, because I was thinking about it just now. I haven't seen no museum where any of the other cultures have got their people, their bones. I know they have their grave sites, but I don't know if people are allowed to walk there. I know they have their grave sites and they have statues of them, but I ain't seen no bones like the same way I see the Egyptian pharaohs and the kings and queens. Am I right, brother? Have you seen anything like that?
Never.
All right then. So that's how you know we're dealing with an issue right now. There's an issue right now where our ancestors have been put on the forefront and they're still making money even off our dead ancestors, and we're just still standing here. We're still sitting there looking. Oh, let's go to Egypt. Let's go and see the pharaoh. Yes, let's take pictures. Look, guys, look who I took pictures with. Do you know what I mean? This is the mentality. We haven't tried to get our land back. We haven't tried to restore our ancestors' dignity and their pride. You know what I mean? We just sit here and want to argue with people that are sick. You know what I mean? We want to argue with sick people. It doesn't make no sense. How are you going to argue with someone that's sick? Do you know what I mean? You're going to argue with somebody that's sick that doesn't want to see you get medicine. They rather see you sick.
You know?
They don't want you to get medicine.
You know, my brother,
my
brother Joseph Cohen said his father taught him this, yeah? Don't argue with foolish people. Why? Because when people are viewing two people arguing from a distance, they both look like fools. Plus, the fool will always beat you with experience, with their folly. But real quickly, I'm going to read out something from the New Kingdom coming from one of our greats, Nefer Abu. Okay, and it says here, punish me not. Okay, so this is how I view. This is how I view a lot of my brothers and sisters out there who are sick. Okay, that need that good medicine. It says here, punish me not for my many misdeeds. I am one that does not know himself. I am a mindless man. All day long I follow my mouth like an ox after fodder. Okay, so a lot of you individuals out there, okay, like, I'm not going to punish you. I'm not going to hate you. I'm not going to harm you, because I'm fully aware that you do not have knowledge of self. You don't know yourself. You don't know who you are. You don't even know the power that you hold. You don't know your greatness. And you don't know the reason why these people have a concentrated effort on bringing you down and you succumbing to that. So I'm not going to punish you. I'm not going to harm you based on that. I'm not going to look at you negatively based on that. I just know that it is what it is, family. You just don't know who you are. You know, you are literally a mindless man or mindless person. It's cool. It's cool. Not everybody possesses a mind, you know. That's one thing that people don't know. When we go back into the Hermetica, it teaches you that as well. Not everybody possesses a mind. There's a lot of ignorant people out there that are far removed from it. Why? Because all day long, they follow their mouths. Okay? They follow their mouth. They're just talking. Dun, 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 dun. They don't even reflect and think about what they're talking about. You know, it's like most people, they don't know the art of actually praying. Okay, they will talk, but they never listen for a response. It's kind of like most people, when they pray, it's like picking up the phone and they're speaking to God. God, I want this, that, this, and that, and the other. And before God actually responds, boo, they hang up the phone. They hang up the phone. Spend no time. Did you even hold a meditation after your prayer? No. You just done our Father who art in heaven. That was it. And you even wait for a response. So we know that you're mindless. Don't worry about it. You know, you are literally like those, like an ox after the fodder. You're just following your instincts. You're just following what you can see in front of you. Finally, it's cool. We know who you are. It's no problem. You can talk the most ignorant talks in the chat section. We don't mind. We know we have to deal with sick people. We know we have to deal with sick people that are giving us a thumbs down and hating the information that we're bringing. But anyways, we don't mind. We don't mind. I'm just gonna simply say that. So yeah, Gabz, my brother. You know what? We've actually, I don't know, man. I don't know, because I wanted to do this real short, sharp, and succinct, and you know, get our people back into that. You know, hopefully, you know, when we have some more time, we're gonna actually be calling you guys out some more. So this is the gnosis section. This is the knowledge section. These are the reasons why we're calling our brothers and sisters. This is the reason why we have to now act like Muslims and start giving dawah, because we fully realize that a lot of individuals out there are in a state of sickness and they need the medicine. They're in a state of sleep that needs to be awoken. Awake, awake, awake. For those of you who know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. You need to be conscious again. So we need to wake you up. We know that a lot of you are in a state of death. Okay, you're in a state of death and decomposition, and can't remember the other word for it. But we fully realize that you're decomposing right now, and we need to bind you and bring you back to life again and rejuvenate you. You with me? Like, are you really with me? So this is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be talking into you. We're going to be speaking with authority to actually activate your spirit, your energy, to bring you back to life again. You know, there's literally a five-step process that, you know, is taken in terms of bringing a soul back into life again, or once you go through your afterlife process. One of the first steps is resurrection. Second step is to rise. Okay, rising either by climbing a ladder. Those of you know what I'm talking about, like a Jacob's ladder. You're climbing those ladder, and then finally you reach the hand of God and you pull yourself up, or you fly as a bird and you rise up. I hope you guys know what I'm talking about. Those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, and afterwards you have a judgment where you're actually tested upon the information that you have learned. And once you're tested, it's to see whether you're justified and whether you can receive immortality. And once you're justified, you get acceptance into the community. Okay, so can you be accepted into our community? Okay, you're going to be tested. You're going to be initiated. Okay, if If you're able to pass those tests, you now be accepted. Okay, remember, you need to be try, test, and proven, right? Try, test, and proven. Okay, ready whenever to take up. All right, cool. So you need to be try, test, and proven. Once you've been accepted, you now be able to become an akhu, transformed, and you could be whatever you wish to be. You receive your field of reeds. You receive your rewards. Okay, so hopefully those of you guys, we're going to be calling you guys from the death state. We're going to resurrect you. We're going to rise you up to that living perpendicular. Okay, we're going to now judge you to see whether you can make it. We're going to accept you into our order. Then we're going to transform you, okay, into a perfected being that you once were crafted and cast out to be. You with me? Are you with me? Because I'm talking about this KMTS, my brother. Tell me more about KMTS, my brother. That's the process right there. That's that Kemet Transformation Society, my brother.
Yeah, that KMTS, I just want to let you know, KMTS is coming to the people, man. This is what we're bringing now. This is not for us. This is not for me, the brother Kalam and the rest of this is for everybody. It's not just for us, it's for everybody to understand their culture, their heritage, and to learn and understand history and real information. Do you know what I mean? We ain't got time to be dealing with the haters and negative energy. We just want to bring positive energy and bring positive energy and positive thinking to the people who are suffering from sickness and mind paralysis. Do you know what I mean? It's such a shame that we have to do this because we should have at least a little bit of knowledge of self. But hey, this is what happened. The ancestors said it was going to happen. You know what I mean? We've read the prophecy so many times. They said there was going to be a stage where we come down and we fall. But this is the time now where KMTS and other organizations out there come together and bring the information to the people. You know what I mean? So we can learn together and grow.
That's right. Did we miss anything out that you wanted to jump onto as well, my brother?
What did I want to jump into? Do you know? Yeah, I've been looking at a lot of the comment sections. I think your mic's muted a bit, you know. But I've just been looking at a lot of the comment sections. I can see, you know, some of the brothers and sisters going back and forth. I can see there's a lot of Muslims in there. It looks like they have Muslim names, so I think they are. But I can see them throwing in different things, you know, throwing shade. Still seeing the same thing about being racist. Are you even African if you do a DNA test? We didn't say that you got white in you and all this nonsense. You white? We hate white people. No, we haven't even said here that we hate white people. No one's even mentioned that. It hasn't even come out nobody's mouth. You know what I mean? And if you watch the last video, you'd even see where we said we understand. We've come to terms now. We've come to terms of understanding why the Europeans and the Asians and the Arabs did what they did to us. We understand. We don't hate nobody. You know what I mean? We've gone past that stage of hate now. We understand why they had to do these things to us. It makes sense now. So all we're trying to do is get rid of the hate that some of our people are still having in their heart for Arabs during the slave trade, for Europeans during the slave trade. And we're trying to give them the information to show them why these people had to do what they did and show them how great they were. Do you know what I mean? To lift them up. Do you see what I'm saying? Because like we said, at the end of the day, we're all going to get tested. And if we don't pass that test, you ain't gonna make it to the next level. The same way in school, you don't pass those tests, you ain't gonna make it to the next level. The same way when you're revising for that job, if you don't pass that test, you ain't gonna make it into that new job that you want. So everything is a test. So we need to make our people understand and give them the fair questions and stuff so they can pass the test and go to the next level, because we're all here to help each other. Yeah.
You know what? I wanted to. You there?
Yeah,
I wanted to draw for a quick prophecy. You know, this is one of scholars actually say this is kind of like one of the Messiah quotes right there, the Messiah type prophecies. And I want to just quickly say, just for you guys out there, it says here, and the king will come from the south, Ameni, the justified by name, son of a woman of Tarseti, child of Upper Egypt. He will take the white crown. He will wear the red crown. He will join the two mighty ones. He will please the two lords with with what they wish. Let me just get it up quickly. With filled circulars in his fist or in his grasp. Rejoice, O people of his time. The Son of Man will make his name for all eternity. I love that, the Son of Man. I wonder where they get these things from. The evil-minded, the treason plotters, they suppress their speech in fear of him. Asiatics will fall to his sword. Tamahu is the right word here for Libyans, yeah? Tamahu, the people of the north, will fall to his flames. Rebels to his wrath, traitors to his might. As the serpent on his brow subdues the rebels for him, one will build the walls of the ruler to bar Asiatics from entering Kemet, the black land. They shall beg water as supplicants so as to let their cattle drink. Then order will return to its seat. The reason why I actually wanted to read that out is, yeah, the reason why I wanted to read this out is, yeah, secretly, from what day, the Asiatics, okay, the Asiatics and the Tamahu, the Northerners, the Europeans, yeah, has always been in conflict with the African people, with the land of Kemet, okay? And it always takes those individuals who are grounded in the southern information, grounded in the south, not in the north, that's been corrupted with their different ideologies. It takes those in the south, deep south, okay, to come up, okay, to grab back their throne, grab back their power, and to run these individuals. And I'm talking about the foreign ideologies that they hold that's been subduing us as a people, and to run them out for us to take control and power of our greatness again. And I'm simply saying right now, my brother Gabz, my brother Sarah, my other brothers like Ras, okay, they are grounded in Southern information. They're grounded in Southern philosophy. They're grounded in Black philosophy, African philosophy. And what we're doing right now is we're coming back up into these lands. We're coming back up and we're running out, okay, these foreign Islamic, Asiatic ideologies and these foreign European ideologies to clear up our minds. Just take a step, just take a breather away from those ideologies for a hot second, yeah, and come back into yourself, come back into your power, come back into your greatness of who you are, and learn the knowledge of the ancestors. That's all I'm asking you to do, you know. Like, you can learn Christianity, Islam, and all of that stuff, like, whenever you like, but just get grounded in your own information. Become patatanin, okay? Become that individual. Become that solid earth that's grounded in it oneself, and become the creators, okay? Those individuals that can speak words into existence and information into existence again. Become those individuals. Become the rulers that you was once created to be. That's all I'm asking you to do, you know? And if you want to choose to now bring back those foreign ideologies into your system again, that's up to you. But at least give yourself, give your children, give your progeny, your legacy the opportunity to be grounded in what it is to be an African first. Be grounded in what it is to be who you were created to be first. That's all we're asking you to do, you know. That's simple. But yeah, my brother, hopefully this show was a banger anyway. We got 130 people tuned in. Please, family members, give us some likes. Give us some likes, man. We really appreciate the likes. We really appreciate you letting us know that the information is appreciated by you guys. And again, to all of the people that need the medicine is coming, man. The medicine is coming. Don't worry about that. All right. So in the upcoming days and weeks and months, we're going to be dropping some more information to do with the Kemetic Creed. We're going to be targeting every single one of those points one by one each show and going into depth with it. Obviously, these are just tasters, because once you actually become members of a particular system, they will teach you how to be educated. Okay, they'll educate you in what it is of knowledge of self, whether it's knowledge of self to doing with learning about your emotions, learning about the virtues, your vices, your characteristics, learning about the way you think, learning about how to control yourself to become self-disciplined, learning how to meditate, learning spiritual practices and so forth, learning about your ancestry, learning all of these great things, learning about education in terms of, logic, and being able to learn how to learn itself, You know, all of those great things there, you learn with inside of a system itself. Unfortunately, we can't go through in depth with all of those things there, because that would take literally at least 12 hours, to go through all of those things succinctly at a very basic level indeed. A very, very basic level indeed. So you have to be indoctrinated to a certain degree, or you'll be inculcated or being taught certain things when you get yourself deeper into that study. Hopefully you'll be able to join a system, whether it's what we've got over here in the UK or wherever else you are, you'll be able to join a system to be educated thoroughly. My brother, go ahead, King. Did you want to say anything?
Nah, yeah. I just want to say, yeah, man, this has been a good show, man. You know what I mean? It's always a good show because we're just dealing with that information and just bringing that information for the people. I hope the audience and people have enjoyed it, and they take some of the information and they go home and they do some research when they're by themselves, share the information with their friends, their families, the young ones. And also, I want to say we love the haters as well. This is a message to you, the haters out there. We love you guys. We love that you keep tuning in and watching the show and doing what you do, because it shows that we're actually doing a good job. Do you know what I mean? So we need you. Yeah. Thanks for your support. You make us better. You make us strive and want to do more. Yeah. That's the reason why we need it. We need a positive and a negative. You know, we need the balance. So we're happy for you guys. And I can't wait for the next shows. You know, so I like to say peace and love to the family. It's been great.
All right. Peace and love, family. I've dropped the link as well down below inside of the comment section. So if you wanted to jump on real quickly whilst we're actually off air to have a nice little discourse or conversation with us, please feel free to jump on. But right about now, we're actually signing out. So again, I'm just dropping the link. I'm signing out right now. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Peace, love, and this has been another Talk with the Titans show, and we've been discussing gnosis. Are you dumb? Well, you're gonna learn today, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Peace and love, family. Peace and love.